So we're doing this class right now, and it is up against a lot of energies. Okay, not that we're up against it, it's not like swimming against the tide, but there are a lot of energies in flux there. And you know, we have names for them, like it's the solstice, or in the overall there is a Saturn retrograde. Saturn tends to be, I sometimes hesitate to use like astrological terminology and planetary stuff, because some people love it and they get it, and some people it kind of gets confusing. So I'm going to talk about what it means. And what it means is changes, but changes where you're restructuring things. Like it's intended to be positive changes. It's intended for you to take those lemons and make lemonade with them. Somehow improve on something. Okay, not everything is a complete, like wonderful transformation. Sometimes it's like our ascension trajectory. It's a little bumpy, but we're getting there, like we're getting to another level, another altitude. So that's part of what this energy is. You are going to see people go through stuff, and just like driving your car, you're kind of like, oh my God, something happened, but you're like, I can't stop. There's people behind me and I have to move forward. Okay. That literally happened the other day on the expressway. A guy blew a flat on the expressway going like 60 miles an hour, and you could see it. And it was like, and he pulled over, and this thing flits through me, because it always does. I'm like, I should pull over and help him. And I couldn't. And I made a wish in that moment. I was like, I wish someone will come to help him. And, like, I'm going to trust the universe to send the right people, whoever it is, whether it's his brother-in-law or a tow truck or whatever. But I just couldn't do it. And then I thought, well, what help could I offer really anyway? My phone, a few dollars, something like that. And sometimes you just can't do things in the moment, and you have to focus on you and where you're going. So the other thing with this energy is, this is an energy, and I mean this sort of metaphorically, but it's sort of like a fiery energetic, meaning that it is about, old things, sometimes like with a quick change in them. We have Father's Day, we had graduations, like there's a lot of that energy in the air of like, we're going to some other part of our life. Okay. When it comes to being a twin flame and knowing that you're a twin flame and knowing that you have a connection, you have the etheric body of your twin inside you, the difference for you is that inner part will keep moving you along, and it'll make you feel like you want to move along. It'll make you feel like you want to push off of things. It'll make you feel like help with the things that you feel you can. It'll make you feel like skirting around certain things and getting where you're going. So it's not always what we once did, but there is still a lot of demolition work going on, you could say. Like there is, like dismantling and demolition at the same time that other things are building up. So it's a, I would say, like, in some ways, this is intended to have very positive effects, but you can still see things happen around you. And it's going to be certain things dying. Okay, sometimes it'll seem very sudden that things die or fall away. And I don't want to get morbid. What I mean is that the universe sort of recycles everything. If that's a person, the person will recycle themselves into their next level or their next incarnation or something. If it's about a job or a career or something, it's usually going to up level, but it involves letting go. So this class is about twin flames and soulmates, and you're going to see much more separation of who is who. You're going to feel your inner twin more. And you're going to feel like soulmates were once like this conglomerated, mass of people, and you're going to start seeing more differentiation out there with people and with people in your life. And this means that some people will gravitate towards you and other people move out. This could mean people that have been a part of your life, or they've been trying to hold on to tensions with you, and suddenly it's just like something in you is saying, I don't really need that. I don't need that person. You're not wishing them to go to hell, but you are just like, I'm doing me. Like, this is literally doing me, and I'm not letting you hang on to me. Okay. That's the thing we're going to focus on here. And there are connections that only your twin flame has, and only the etheric twin can support on your body. So it is also a physical thing for your physical life. So for the physical life, that means that you have, improvements or things that you have to set aside or move it into some other format somehow. Like, to give you an idea, it could be something like an organization that you've been a part of. Maybe you volunteer, and then you find out, like, it's not really lighting me up anymore. Maybe I need some other aspect of this, and you resign, and you start finding something else, or you even pause. Okay. There is something about the divine feminine energy. When she pauses, she can receive. Okay. And that may sound weird, but we have to remember ourselves that that electric side of our feminine energy is promoting and putting forward what it is that we need and want. It is parting the seas and opening the doors for us. We then sometimes have to have those times where we pause, even if it's just to catch our breath, even if it's just for us to, regather ourselves. And this will happen usually 3 to 4 times per year. Okay. In some ways, okay, I'm going back to some astrology. The Mercury retrogrades are kind of like a good time for that, but it doesn't always coincide perfectly with the Mercury retrograde. In fact, you could go through a Mercury retrograde like, woohoo, I'm styling, and every other person is going, and my equipment is breaking down, and you could be like not having anything happen. So these are some of the things we're going to work on. We're going to go into July. I'm considering adding a day because there's kind of a lot of material that I'd like to cover with you for, helping you with this so that you really get where you're going. The Lion's Gate is like a next big energy portal. So it's going to start hitting like around July 20th or so. It's always ahead of time. Okay. So like, what I would say is, if we don't talk, just kind of mark your calendar and do an assessment around that time, like a mini inventory of like, what are some of the things, what are coming up to your attention that might need addressing, and I mean, it could be real practical stuff, like suddenly your car needs some attention, or something in your house needs attention. And it's that simple, and it's just that one thing. It could be 3 or 4 small little things that finally that nagging that they've been doing, it's suddenly time to address it. Okay. When people move away from you, okay, so this is the weird thing about soulmates. When people move away from you, you have to accept that and leave it. Okay. So what do I mean when I say they move away from you? They break up with you. They get on your nerves so much that you feel yourself getting angry and being like, God damn it, why don't they get it? And you want to do that. You find yourself doing comparisons with your head, like, why does that person always want this, but my other friends are like this or that? That's like a notice to you, like, You pay attention to how it's making you feel, okay? And it's a hard thing to do because in a human way, it can feel very rude. It can feel like you're being rude or not compassionate. But you have to look at it like there are kids still playing in the mud and you're not going to go get dirty with them. Okay, you've already cleaned up and left that little playground and you need to move on. If it's a relationship you value, you ask for it again. Okay, and we'll talk about some of that in here. You know, like what do you do with some of the other relationships that revolve around you? Okay, because the main thing that you have to do is, you know, guard your union, guard your heart, guard your union. Now, the weird part about that is it can make you feel like you're being defensive. Okay, like, ooh, duck and dodge and block, and, you know, that is very old. That is the old way of doing it. The new way is simply to let your body do it for you. Let your light body and let your higher self do it for you, and don't override those inhibitions and don't undermine yourself. Okay. So we don't want to buckle under to things anymore, but nor do we want to, you know, keep pushing for something that really isn't making changes. And it gets glaringly obvious. It gets glaringly obvious with romantic kind of things like flirtations. Okay, you could be flirting with someone or have them flirt with you, and suddenly something in you is just like, this is pretty damn boring. I think I've written this dialogue 1,000 times, and there's no spark and there's no real chemistry. They're just trying to make me feel something and I ain't feeling it. Okay, or it could be with your family, where your family is on the same rhetoric, okay? And you're just kind of starting to detach and go like, God, mom is always harping on the same thing. Nothing ever changes. Oh my God, it hasn't changed in 60 years. She was like that when I was a kid. But you suddenly are, you know, detaching from it. Or it could be with the parent of a child. Okay, the parent of a child, you know, whatever their habits are, whatever their behaviors are, whatever that thing is that they've been trying to keep in place with you, your soul ain't going to allow it. Your soul is going to be like, see ya, bye-bye, go do that over there, go work that magic on everyone else because it ain't working over here. Because it's just the same old crap. Okay. Now, conversely, okay, because here is the kicker with this, okay, because you will read things out there that people say, well, you know, my entire family was toxic. Guess what? Everybody's family on the entire planet has some toxic stuff from somewhere in time. It's either this life or it's a series of past lives. It's either the people that affected your people or it's your people. But either way, there's something in everyone, okay? Now, when we throw up these walls, okay, we've walled ourselves in. It doesn't really allow good stuff to like happen. So we are sometimes in a position where we're going from this place to this place so that you can be in a crowd of people, you could be with your family, you could be with others, and you've now protected your heart and your union, okay? So the real business is keep the world out, keep the love in, okay? So that's what we're going to be about, is to cover some of the distinctions between twin flames and soulmates, and what, you know, what distinguishes a soulmate. How can you still be with a soulmate? How can you still be around soulmates, or interacting with friends who, yes, are soulmates, interacting with negative people who, yes, may still be soulmates, okay? Little by little, you won't feel people as soul family in as much as you will feel more cohesive with your twin flame, and you'll feel those people that you want in your inner circle. Okay. And it feels natural. It feels like, honestly, sometimes a really good time. Okay. Everyone's going to have their own agenda, their own journey, but there will be times that you come together and then you go back to your respective places, and it feels like it was just enough. It was light and lovely. It was even deep and authentic, and it was not doing anything to your union. So we care about our unions. We don't want all kinds of random energies in there. We don't want to drag a lot of dead weight with us. So we are going to be doing this for at least a 4-week period here. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.